So I'm wondering, what's your impression on China? How's your life and work in Beijing?
Oh, it's a privilege. It's a privilege to have the opportunity of being in China in such an interesting time. It's a privilege professionally, because it's a huge experience, a huge learning process, very challenging, and because China is a global player nowadays, economically, politically, so you have quite a challenge intellectually and professionally to do your job. So it's quite a privilege, but it's also a personal privilege in a certain way. Why a personal privilege? Because I didn't know China yet, and so I have the opportunity to discover a new culture, a different culture, an old culture, a new country, new people, and to create new friends in a region of the world that I didn't know yet. So it's personally enriching and professionally as well. So it's with the sensation of fulfillment and happiness that I see my time in here for the last 3 years.
And would you please share with us some unforgettable stories during your professional life?
Oh, well, maybe not. Well, my professional life, I'm a diplomat for more than 30 years now. I was a French teacher before becoming a diplomat in the public school in Portugal. And I became a diplomat, which was something that I really wanted to do. I studied international relations and political sciences in Portugal, and I wanted very much to become a diplomat. So I became a diplomat in 1990, in Portugal I had the privilege of working with several politicians in Portugal, with different ministers of foreign affairs and with my president, directly with them, being their advisor, their counselor, working in their offices. I served also in different embassies of Portugal around the world. I served in Washington, D.C., in the United States of America as my first post. Then I served in the permanent representation towards the European Union in Brussels, in our embassy in Madrid as Deputy Chief of Mission. Then as Ambassador I served also in Mozambique in Africa, a previous Portuguese colony, where we have very important emotional, historical and economic links. And now the privilege of serving in China. Yes, I had many trips with many politicians of Portugal. I had the privilege also to see many conversations between my president and some other heads of state, including the president of the People's Republic of China, and to organize that. And it's quite interesting. Yeah.
When the rest of the world is talking about your country, what would you want them to know, to remember?
The things that impress me the most in here is the things that I hope that can be also impressive for the tourists that go to my country. First of all, hospitality. People feel welcomed. And it's important when you go to a place that you feel that you are welcomed and that you are not rejected. Secondly, that you go and you can show something that put people attentive and put people curious about it. So we have a huge historical past, many monuments, many cultural heritage that deserves to be discovered, many monuments. So that is showing the curiosity and the interest for the local culture and the local identity. And then a part also that is part of our identity in my country, it's the food. I mean, people express themselves very much like in China. Families and friends, they like to celebrate with food around the table. Even in my country, like in China, we don't do even businesses without having a lunch or a dinner together. It's part of the process of negotiation. It's part of building the trust together that we need. And so this is something that I like people to discover. So first of all, to feel welcomed and to feel that we can be hospitalier and generous with foreigners, regardless of their religion and regardless of their region, race or whatsoever. People also that we have to show them a rich cultural heritage in Portugal, and also food that can free their senses as well. I mean, it's something that gives them pleasure and food of quality. This is the three elements that I think are the best in my country.
So I wonder, what's your point of view on Belt and Road Initiative and how to better engage in Belt and Road Initiative?
Portugal signed a memorandum of understanding with China in December 2018, precisely on Belt and Road. Connectivity is one of the main points that is on that document, which is connectivity between China and Portugal by sea, belt, by road, Belt and Road, but also by air. So the connectivity between our two countries, it's quite important for not just the bilateral relation, but because of the geographical position of China and Portugal. It's true, you are right, Portugal is the first country in Europe if you come from the Atlantic Ocean, and can be the last one of Europe coming from the land. So it's in front of the Panama Canal in Europe, and it's the best connection between Europe and the Panama Canal, where global commerce comes. So on the coast of the Atlantic of America and the coast of the Atlantic in Africa, Portugal is the first European country to be in there. So the connectivity, geographically speaking, between China, far east, and Portugal, far west, it's quite important for everybody, and so it makes a global commerce much more interesting and profitable for everybody. So that's why we wanted very much to make this connectivity between China and Portugal.
How do you see the role of CBC? How do you see the leadership of CBC for China's development and for Chinese people?
I'm a friend of China, and I'm pleased to see the good of China. And honestly, I think that the development of China is good for China and for everybody around the world. The way and the success that this country has in the fight against poverty, it was good for the Chinese people, it is good for all the Chinese nation, and has a positive impact in the rest of the world as well. The less poor people we have in China, the more you have the capacity to interact with the others. It's good for the economy, you have more consumers. And if they consume a bit more, they import a bit more. So they have the capacity for that, and that has an impact also, an effect on the global economy as well. So that's good. This, what we can have as a conclusion, is always the result of a good leadership and the good people. You don't have one without the other. I mean, for having the success, I mean, you have to be based on the good options of a government, but also on the qualities and the hard working of the society. Because sometimes you can take wonderful measures, but if the society doesn't react adequately, I mean, you don't have the outcome. And sometimes the society are hard working, but you don't have the good orientations and the good options from the leaders, so you don't have also the outcome. So you have to have the mixture of both of them. You have to have the quality of the leadership and the vision and the decisions on the right moment, but also the quality and the determination, the hard working of the people. And in China you had both. That's to have a society that is starving, hard-working people that deserves respect and applause, and also, I mean, also the right options in the right moment from the Chinese leadership.
One last question. What's your favorite motto or sentence from your country?
An old Portuguese president that was president of Portugal. It's both political, but also it's a motto for life. One just loses if one stops fighting. So you can lose now, but if you keep fighting, you will win later. So that's a motto for life that I really appreciate. You can be sick today, but you won't die. You'll keep on fighting and tomorrow will be better, and you'll win over disease. And in love can be exactly the same thing. sometimes you can have a step back. Don't give up. Show her the best of you, and tomorrow you'll convince her that you are the best man for her. So it's, and it can be on professional terms, it can be on political terms, it can be on everything. So for me it's quite inspiring that just the ones who stop fighting are the ones that lose. So the other ones who keep fighting always win with time. Thank you very much for your interest and for your interview. I wish you, from the bottom of my heart, the biggest success. And remind Mário Soares, just is defeated the one who gives up on fighting.